Excellent trio of junior yearling boars we've had exhibit in this particular age group. And, I think a little bit more give and take on the top end. I'd be willing to hear some arguments either way because, honestly, I've went back and forth a couple of times on my placings there. And ultimately, I'll end on entry number 10 to go ahead and start us off with. I thought this was the boar that was a shade more appropriate in terms of his height for me. I thought he filled out his carcass with just a little more natural power and frame and dimension there, albeit he gives up maybe just a shot of feature and bone to our second place individual in this class. I thought his added promptness and his range of motion was just a shade better. I thought when we get right on top of the livestock and we study him, there's just more natural spread. He fills out his flesh just a shade better than what our second place individual does. A nice place to start. Second place is entry number 9. I love the hair coat on this blonde boar. I love just the set he's got to his hind leg. I love that added power that starts at the base of his heel, works up through his hock, and meets at the top side of his pin set there. That's a powerful made boar in that regard. We get off to the side, we study him in his profile, and I don't want to sound weird whenever I say it, but he's almost a boar that has a little bit more excess skin. He doesn't fill out just quite as powerful in terms of his upper dimension, and his rib is what his frame would kind of indicate. It's kind of like when you put a winter coat on a 5-year-old. It's got maybe just a little bit more overhang, a little bit more room to grow into, and I guess that's where we read our entry number 9. To match that power of feature he's got working down low, I would like to see him just kind of fill into some of that flesh with a little more natural spread and body, and I think we can make that case for him to win this class even better, because I think there's parts and pieces of that boar that are true in terms of moving a breed forward as a sire. We round out with our entry number 11 here. For me, a hog that I think offers a lot in terms of body and rib and putting some product back into a cooney herd, but we asked this boar to go in motion, and for me, it begins to become a bit troublesome when we study him from behind. He wants to swivel off either side of his hip there. He kind of wants to post up in terms of his hind leg, and he just shortens the most of this initial trio here in this division in terms of his length of hip. I like to redesign him just a shade from his rear skeleton, make him a bit more practical, a bit fuller, and a bit more comfortable in that regard, and I think we've got certainly something to work with. Front 2/3 of that boar I think are exceptionally good. Make him a little bit better from behind, and we've got room to move up. Congratulations, very nice group of junior yearling boars.